She gon' strip it down for a thong, yeah. Word around till she got the buzz, yeah. 5 shots in, she in love now. Pull up, shut the club down.
Hey, it's your girl Kalation. I'm back with another video, and y'all just don't know. This video was supposed to go up Sunday, which this is probably going on Monday or Tuesday, but it's supposed to go up Sunday. But y'all just, I don't know if the vlog will go up before this or not, but so what's been happening, I'm gonna just break it down real quick before the video starts, because this video is gonna be long anyways. But my grandmother tested positive for coronavirus Friday. Well, she got her results Friday. Thursday, I was at my mama's house in her bed with her, laying down with her. Like, I don't know if in the last vlog I was saying how, oh, my grandmother don't really feel good, I'm bringing her, you know, this and that. And this time I didn't know, so I'm laying all in the bed with her, talking to her. And then Friday she come back and tested positive for COVID. And before I even knew that she tested positive, Friday morning my throat was hurting so bad. I'm sorry y'all. So my throat was hurting so bad. I was weak. I was dizzy. I almost fell, y'all. My body, I was sweating so bad. I was laying in the bed, sweating. I couldn't get out of the bed. And I keep it cold in here. I keep the AC when I be going to sleep. Most of the time, I be on 65 and I be having a fan on because I just like sleeping with it cold. Y'all, everything was on and I was sweating. Like, my body was burning up so hot. I kept on going back and forth to the tub. I'm sorry y'all if I'm coughing, my throat still hurt. I've been, you know, spraying Lysol, kind of trying to clean up, trying to keep it clean around me, but I still feel bad. I still feel like, and it's like at the point, today is Sunday, it's at the point where I'm up and down, so it'll be a few hours to okay, I feel kind of good, and then I'm back to like, oh, feeling like I can't move. So I said I want to be true to y'all, and I want to stay true and make these videos because I don't want to skip out on y'all, even though I'm sick, even though I feel like trash. Like, my body is really aching. Like, I'm not even playing, but my throat not hurting as bad no more, and I'm not as dizzy as I was. So I'm gonna do this video for y'all. So I love y'all. Just know that I love y'all, because if I didn't love y'all, this video wouldn't be getting recorded, baby, because I feel like bad. I don't really feel good at all, but like I said, I gotta take my hair out, and of course I want to do this video for y'all. First I was like, oh, I'm not gonna record me taking my hair out, but why do that to y'all? You know, I know that y'all liked my last one, so of course I'm gonna do it for y'all. So love y'all, and we just get into the video. Y'all know how I like to tell stories or whatever when I do this, so I decided that I was gonna tell y'all the story about my worst job. And in the last video, it didn't look like I did too much with my hair. Oh y'all, I'm hurt. It didn't look like I did too much with my hair because I was combing it out. So what I said I'm gonna do this time is not comb my hair out until I'm done taking it all out. So I'm gonna just take my hair out while I'm talking. So my worst job, y'all, can I say the place? I think y'all already know. I probably talked about it in one of my old vlogs before, like old vlogs, like one of the first videos on my channel. So at that time I had quit McDonald's. So I quit McDonald's in October. That had made my 2 years working over there. It was a lot of stuff. I could do a story time about working at McDonald's and everything that happened over there and stuff like that, and why I ended up quitting. But so that's what happened. I stopped working over there. When October came, that made my 2 years of working over there. So I quit McDonald's, and I like really didn't even have a backup plan, y'all. I just quit. I was so over it. I hated that job. And it wasn't even like I hate that job, but it was like a lot of stuff that was going on, so I quit. So what happened was I was out of the job for a little while, October. So what happened was I was like, whatever, applying to jobs, and I ended up applying to, y'all know, around the holidays, Black Friday. That's around Black Friday time. Y'all know all the stores hire people around that time anyways. So I applied, but also I applied to this insurance company job, which at the same time I got hired over there. But the insurance company thing, it wasn't like they, you know how they have certain places that's just commission. That place wasn't like that, because it's like you have to go pick up people insurance money and stuff too. And so that's what I was doing. and you know, I was picking up their money. So that's what I would have been doing. I went to training and everything for that job, but I ended up not taking it because my family and everything was like, oh, do Walmart, you know, you don't want to be tearing up your car, driving all over, going to people's house and stuff like that. And I seem like it, but I'm not really an open book, like an open people person. So my family was like, you're not even a people person to be, you know, going out and to people's house picking up insurance and stuff like that. So which was the truth, I agreed with. So I ended up being like, the woman was like, okay, you starting all you have to do is go do your drug test and da da da. And I didn't even know if I was gonna pass that drug test. Hire me, I didn't even take a drug test. So I ended up just taking, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't take the job or whatever. So I ended up starting. I'm gonna have to blank this out. I said I didn't want to say the police. I said I didn't want to say the police. I'm gonna have to blank that out every single time I said it. I'm sorry. Like I said, y'all, I'm feeling bad. Like my head all over the place. Like, so I ended up taking a job at that store. I'm gonna have to blank out me saying the place, but y'all already probably guessed the place anyways, and y'all could probably see me mouthing the name of the place. I'm gonna blank it out, but y'all gonna still be able to see the place, so whatever. But I'm still not gonna say the name because I don't want nobody to use nothing against me. I'm not putting a name in there. So so I took the job at that place, and the first week at that job you have to do on the computers or whatever. So I did the computers the first week at that job. I mean, the hiring process was easy. The hiring process, the band, I went to the interview, they did my background check and everything. After they ran my background check, they was like, all right, come in for training. So he was like, you know, what's your availability? I really didn't have nothing to do or whatever, so my availability was open. So he was like, how you feel about working in a bakery? And I'm like, okay, I don't care, that's cool. Like, I didn't even know, like, I didn't know much about the different sections about working at that place anyways. So he was like, only thing about that is, you know, that's our main place where we hiring at. And he was like, only thing about that is you have to be to work for most of the time 5 in the morning. And he was like, are you a morning person? Me lying my butt off. Oh, yes, I'm a morning person. Da, da, da. No, I'm not no morning person, y'all. Try to get me out of the bed before 11 o'clock. You got me messed up. So I told him I was a morning person. Yeah, this and that. So he ended up hiring me. Like I said, went to training. And then after training on the computers, we actually started training in the bakery. So the manager of that bakery was a white lady, an older white lady. She had like, she was kind of like cockeyed, you know, and she was just like, oh, I could not stand her. She seemed so sweet at first, y'all. She was like, oh yeah, and you I'm sorry, y'all. It's really hurting for me to talk at this point. So she was like, oh yeah, da-da-da, acting like she was so sweet. So the first week, it was me and another girl that got hired at the same time. That girl stopped coming to work. She didn't have a ride to work, like she didn't have a car or whatever. So she just ended up stopped coming. So the other girl, so it was me, just the only one that was training. I was training with this other older lady, and my set schedule was supposed to be the 7 to 4 because I was gonna be doing a bread. And the other girl was gonna be 5 to 2 because she was gonna be doing the donuts and pastries and stuff like that. So, y'all, the bread was hard, y'all. The bread was something serious. So I was training with this lady, but because that girl stopped coming, I ended up training with the bread and the donuts. So it was so much, y'all. It was so much to learn. Like, you had to go in the freezer and get the bread and stuff out of there, and it's like big heavy boxes that you had to do. It was this whole breakout list that you had to break out the bread and put them and set them for the next day and spray them so they could rise and everything and all kind of stuff. It was like a whole breakout sheet, and it's like, okay, say 10, I forgot even the name of the bread, say 10 brackets, whatever. I think that was one of the bread names. You break out 10 brackets, 10 times 4. So that means you put 10 on each sheet diagonal, and you do 4 sheets on each, and you put them on the racks. And then after you're done with the rack, you know, you cover it and put it in the cooler so it could sit for the next day. So that's how we was doing it. And it was so much, y'all. That's what we had to do. And then we had to like take the bread the day, we had to do all of that in one day. So we take the bread out, spray it, put it in the oven, take the other bread that we did before, bag it, the French bread, we had to do all of that, bag it, you know, and put it out on the floor. It was just so, y'all, it was so much work to do. And it was like you had to finish all your work before 4 o'clock or you couldn't leave. But at the same time, if you went over 40 hours by the end of the week, you get a write-up. So it was definitely hard, especially being new doing that. That lady that was there for a few months, and she was like a beast at it, but most of the time she didn't even leave at her right time. Like, it was so much work. Plus, since that other girl stopped working, the manager wanted me to work extra fast to help her in the donut department. And they had this other dude that was there for a long time. He worked there for about 8 years, I think he said, and he was gay, and he was all up the manager butt. The thing about the manager was she was white. I don't think she liked black people too much. So they ended up hiring this other girl that I'm not cool with her no more, but I used to be real cool with her. We didn't fall out and then we just don't talk no more. But me and her became real cool even after we stopped working over there. This other girl, I'ma name her Destiny. Destiny got hired and she came or whatever, and me and Destiny ended up getting cool because everybody else had attitudes. Like the cake decorators had attitudes. The gay one, I'm not even gonna give him a name, he had an attitude. The manager, she just was like she had a disgusting attitude. Like I said, there was so much work to do with just the bread before my shift ended. If I finished the bread and didn't help her clean the thing for the donut or scrub the floor for her section where she did the donuts at, she had an attitude with me. So I would just be like, whatever, like, I'm over this woman. I would be like, whatever, like. So because I didn't kiss her butt like the dude did, of course she didn't like me. So the new girl that got hired, she was cool with the manager that hired us or whatever, and he would tell her how the manager was complaining to him about complaining to him about us, that we had an attitude. She even got into it with the manager at like a meeting. He was like, oh, we have an attitude, we not working fast enough for him. Y'all, I was doing, if I finished my bread all the time, and I'm telling you, that bread was a lot to do. I finished my stuff all the time. It was just the fact that she wanted me to help the cake decorators do their job. The cake decorators didn't have that big of a job to do unless they had cakes. They would do the cakes on display, do the cakes that they came in orders, and other than that, they wouldn't do nothing. Like that girl, we had 15-minute breaks, 2 15-minute breaks. That girl, one of the cake decorators, every single break, but the manager loved her, and this is the color of her skin. The manager loved her. She would be outside on her break for 45 minutes. I'm telling you, one day we looked at the clock. This girl stayed on her 15-minute break for an hour, and the manager didn't say nothing. Not me, because I would really always just take 15, but that other girl that got hired after me, that the manager also didn't like, she was black too. She came, she spent like, her 15-minute break maybe extended to 20 minutes because she went and used the bathroom. Also, and the manager gonna tell her, you know, your break was 20 minutes, right? You know, you could get a write-up for that. And we looking at each other like, are you serious? Like, girl, like, are you serious? So like, it was just little stuff like that. She would get so aggravated. She was like, some days she would be like, you know, you can't go home until you help the cake decorator put out things on the floor too. So she wanted me to do my whole job, plus after I'm done scrub the floor and everything, then take stuff out of the freezer, like little mini pies and stuff out of the freezer, out of the cooler, and put them on the floor on the shelf and stack them up like that, helping the cake decorator while the cake decorator chilling, not doing nothing, so say cleaning up her station when she ain't did much of nothing. Like, I'm like, no. Like, you're not about to work me, girl. Like, I'm silly from The Color Purple. You got me messed up. So me and the girl was like, talk about it. We was like, dang, she really treating us different. Now they had another cake decorator who was a black girl who got hired not long before me and that other girl that I was talking about that got hired. Me and Destiny. So the black cake decorator, y'all, the manager cut her hours all the time. She said, oh, she don't be making good cakes, da da da. Oh, she be having an attitude. Like, why do we have an attitude when we not doing nothing, but the rest of them kiss your butt? Like, we not kissing your butt. At the same time, I did everything that this woman asked me to do. Even when it was staying extra by 2 hours, almost getting a write-up because I went overtime before they called me to the front talking about, oh, I had to one more time, me almost going into overtime, and I'm gonna get suspended and all kind of stuff like that. And I'm like, it's not my fault. It's not my fault. It's my department manager. And the people in the front could not stand my department manager. They was like, oh, I understand. They was like, but you need to tell her, you cannot run past your 40 hours. So you know what I would do? I would listen to her, period. I would do, my schedule wasn't like this, but say my schedule was Monday through Friday, 5 to 2. Once that Friday came and say if I was supposed to get off at 2 and I wouldn't get off till like 4. Once that Friday came and I could have only worked 4 hours, baby, I would be like, all right, I'm hitting my 40 hours in about 10 minutes, so adios. And she would hate that too. She'd be like, why didn't you tell me that you're about to go into overtime? I was like, you saw that you made me stay over here to pay an extra 2 hours doing somebody else's job. Like, so she started hating me for that. She told that manager that I was doing that on purpose, staying late just so I could leave early on Fridays. Not Fridays, but you know, the last day before the pay period ended of before when I was leading up to my 40 hours. I'm just using Friday as an example. So she was complaining to him. This man never came and told me nothing, y'all. So yeah, that job was terrible, y'all. I had to be to work at 5 in the morning, y'all. And then I was living in a different city from the city that I was working in, so it took me about 40 minutes to get to work. So I had to leave the house by no later than 4:20, or I'm gonna be just about running in before I'm late, or just about late. And I'm like, man, I'm too young for this. I'm over this. I hated that job. So honestly, y'all, I only lasted 4 months at that job, and that felt like the longest job I ever had. Like, it was the worst job I ever had. I hated it so much. The girl that I got cool with, Destiny, ended up, I don't want to put her business out there, but she ended up like something happening, and she ended up not being able to come to work for 3 weeks, just about. While Destiny was gone for them 3 weeks, I had to do all her work. Like, that woman expected me to come in, do the bread, do the donuts, clean up, put stuff out on the tables. Boss, she hated me too, because I was like, once it came to them times, I was like, once I came my 2 hours extra, I would be like, do you want me to not come at all Friday? I would be like, because I did my work, but I'm done. She'd be like, oh, I asked you to put this out on the floor. I'd be like, I did. When it came to that gay dude that did the donuts, that would be her favorite, her little butt kisser. He loved her so much. The way he would say her name, Miss, oh, I could not stand him. So, when it came to him, he would do the donuts, and the donuts is a way shorter job. Like, I can understand you want me to go put the donuts, help put stuff on the tables after I do the donuts, but while I'm doing the bread is the whole shift. Sometimes go over. The bread was, you know, a longer and a harder job. So, yeah, so he would do, she would have him do that and everything, and he would go put stuff out on the table. She'd be like, you see what he's doing? I remember I told her, I said, he doing the donuts. I said, get him to do the bread and finish early to be able to put the thing out. So one day, she tried to show me, baby. So we switched. She made me do the donuts. I finished the donuts at 5 to 2. I finished the donuts by the time it was done, time for me to go to lunch, 11. The 12 to 2, I went put buku stuff out on the table. I was working fast. I did everything. She had him on the bread to show me. I get back from lunch, she helping him hurry up. Oh, we need to hurry up with this bread. When I walked in, and then she gonna look at me like she saw a ghost. Like, no, I see you trying to help him because you know dang well you can't finish that in a certain time. Now y'all trying to rush. Now y'all trying to be 2 people. And guess what? Why it was 2 people, she helped him for over an hour, and why it was 2 people, he was still doing it when it was time for me to leave at 2 o'clock. So God, don't tell me nothing, baby. I know what I'm talking about. That bread take all shift to do. And she would have an attitude, but I'm like, God, what do you expect? So yeah, after that, she stopped acting so cute with me. She stopped, like, you know, oh, you know, you need to da-da-da. She stopped with that, because baby, guess what? You tried to prove me wrong, and you made yourself look dumb. So the girl ended up coming back, but when the girl came back, Destiny, she came back and she had found out she was pregnant. So while you're doing the shift, like while you're doing the donuts, the donut boxes don't be heavy. The bread boxes, on the other hand, be heavy. And it's a freezer. You got to go in that freezer. They have jackets that you could wear or whatever. You go in that freezer and you have to take all that bread and stuff out of there. And stuff like that. Them bread boxes be so heavy. And that girl said, okay, I'm pregnant. And she was like, I'm actually 4. I didn't even know I was pregnant. She said, I'm not about to be going in that freezer like that. So, y'all, my camera is dying. So, yeah, she had an attitude, and the manager started hating her. Like, the manager did everything in her power to get that girl fired. So, the manager would report her all the time to the thing, be like, oh, she don't want to do no work. Which that girl came back with an attitude. She said, I'm done with you. I'm tired of you. I see you making difference, baby. I see that you don't like black people. And she came back and bought that manager. That manager hated her. That manager did everything in her power to finally end up getting that girl fired. So she ended up getting fired. And when it came to me, once that girl got fired, that gay dude and that woman was smiling. They was like, I remember that. They was high-fiving and everything, smiling when she got fired. A few weeks later, I ended up getting into it with the manager. Almost a month later. I'm sorry, y'all, my camera died, so I'm kind of rushing this. So a few weeks later, I get into it with the manager. I go to work. Something had happened. I ended up was supposed to bring a cake to the room because they was having a meeting. So I end up kind of like not dropping the cake, but I kind of tripped with the cake, and the cake went to the side, and the side of it scraped off on the box. The woman caught an attitude with me, baby, and I'm like, who is you playing with? I went off on this woman, talk about didn't I tell you? I went clean off on her. I was like, I'm like, you should have carried it then. Like, I'm done. I was done playing with her, baby. I was like, you should have carried it then. So, yeah. So the next day, right? She caught attitude with me, and she knows she did. Next day, I go to work. It's almost time for lunch. It's about 10:30. Kalisha come. I go to the back. The man tells me I'm getting fired because I've been late too many days to work. Day after, I go off on this woman. So I don't know how I look, but my camera had died, obviously. But what I was saying before my camera so rudely kicked me off is that so yeah, why y'all think I got fired? Of course I got fired a little bit after that, but yeah. And so okay, the girl that did the cakes or whatever, the other black girl that I was saying about, so what happened? Okay, so I had got fired or whatever. So more than a few months later, well, months later, so I'm sorry, I think I said I got fired like 4 months after I got hired or whatever. So I only worked there for 4 months, but the girl that was doing the cakes, the black girl, which I don't know, was she kind of fake? I don't know. I didn't really know her, but like I said, the only person I was really cool with was Destiny. Like, me and Destiny was cool after we stopped working there and everything. So the girl that did the cakes or whatever, I had ended up, I was at a nail shop, like the nail shop that's right by my house, matter of fact. I had went over there, and she was over there. So I went to sit down, and she came, like, she was like, oh, hey, da-da-da. And so we was just talking, and I was like, oh, you still work over there? And she was like, oh, yeah. She was like, but I'm so tired of this. I'm so over it. I'm ready to quit or whatever. So she gonna tell me, she was like, oh, she was like, the day you got fired, she said it was like time for lunch. She said, so when we came back from lunch, no, she said, so when I came back from lunch, so she would come later in the day. She would come at like 1 o'clock. So she said, the gay dude that worked there, he was there. The manager wouldn't even know till after I came. I guess she didn't want to come till I got fired or whatever. The gay dude would go say, did you hear the good news? And then she was like, what? And she was like, Kalisha is gone. And I'm like, baby, if I was to see that B.I., you know, he would get slapped. Because, like, number one, sir, you in your 30s, happy and congratulating that I had just turned 19 when I started working over there. Matter of fact, one of my first days, like the days I was in training, was my 19th birthday. That's like the only year I ever worked for my birthday. So you, yeah, oh, she graduated, that a 19-year-old graduated when you in your like mid-30s. Like, sir, please sit down. Like, sir, yeah, you old collation, da da da. Sir, what are you doing with your life? Like, and then he just disgusted me. Like, he would talk about all the time, like, oh yeah, I share a room with my brother because he lived with his parents. Like, sir, you're in your mid-30s, still sharing a room with your brother, living at your parents' house. And I'm not knocking nobody like that, but I'm like, I asked him one time, I was like, oh, okay, that's what's up. I was like, you gonna move out? He was like, oh no, what would I move out for? Now, I'm not knocking nobody that live with their parents or that's in their mid-30s that live with their parents, but you in your mid-30s sharing a room with your brother, like, and want to have the nerve to want to be messy and talk about people and kiki and smile in people's face and be hateful. Like, it's just obviously that he was miserable. The manager, I could not stand her. She was obviously miserable too. Like, and you could just tell that it was a difference in people that they saw. So I was training 2 girls or whatever that came to work when I got fired. Well, a little bit before I got fired. So I was really training my replacement. But so I was training one of them, and one of them was an older lady that already had worked in the bakery at that store before, and another one was a younger girl. She was about my age. She was 19 too. I was training a younger girl, and we was talking. I was like, oh, you got to do this, da, da, da. So the woman, she like, a white woman came back there, and a white woman had got hired in a deli, which the deli and the bakery was like connected. A white woman, she was like, oh, you're working back here? And the woman was like, oh, yeah, I'm doing the deli. She was like, oh, you're on that side or whatever. The 2 black girls came up, and they was like, oh, look, y'all too. And she was like, hey, like, I'm telling you, the fakest smile. She was like, hey. But when she saw that white woman walked up, she was like, oh, you're coming work back here? Okay, so da da da, like that, like she knew that woman for years or something like that. And when them 2 girls had came, she was like, oh, you worked in the bakery before? That's good, da da da. Well, I'm gonna put you training with her. I'm like, I looked at them girls like, baby, yours is not lasting long back here with this woman. I'm telling you, y'all not. But yeah, that woman disgusted me. I could not stand her. Ooh, I could not stand that woman. She was just evil. Like, what was your point of being so evil? And it was a clear difference in how she acted with people that was more of her skin color than us. And I guess that's the reason why he kept on hiring people like us back there. But we're not gonna play with you. Like, you're not about to boss us around. The only 2 white people was the only ones that was her friends back there. The cake decorator girl, not the black one, I was talking about the other one. The cake decorator girl and the gay dude. Other than that, she ain't like none of the rest of us. She had an attitude. I remember she used to talk down bad about that cake decorating girl. I used to be over there, and she was like, ugh, she's scheduled to work today. When that girl was coming, she'd be like, ugh, I don't even want her to decorate a cake. She could just go out and put stuff out. I'm gonna tell her to just put stuff out when she gets here. Ugh. Like, that's how she was acting, like an evil woman, like, rotten in the inside. I could not stand that woman, y'all. That was my worst job ever. Like, I hated that job. I hated having to be to work for 5 in the morning. I hated seeing that woman when it was time for her to work. Like, sometimes when she would be off on the days I work, I'd be like, yes, I'm about to have a good day. When she would be there, I would be like, what is 2 o'clock? Because I could not stand that woman. Like, she would make sure that she would pile our work on top of us. But that cake decorator girl, I'm telling, that woman would see. She'd be like, oh, I'm going to my 15-minute break. She'd be like, okay. Everybody looking at the clock. I remember me and that girl Destiny I was cool with. Me and her was sitting there, and we was like, let's see if she gonna tell us something. We was like, let's see what time she going her 15. We looked at the time. We like, all right, 15 minutes passed. We both look at each other. 20 minutes passed. 30 minutes passed. This girl stayed gone for 45, almost 50 minutes. It was about 50 minutes. And the manager was there. And that's all she did was walk back up, put her apron on, and go back to washing her hands and decorating them cakes. And the manager didn't tell her nothing. She was like, oh yeah, I was just waiting till you got back to go on my break. But the girl Destiny went on her 15 and she gonna tell her, oh, you know that you but 20 minutes. If you do it again, you know, that could be a write-up. Like, number one, you're a department manager. I don't even think she could have wrote somebody up. I think she had to go to a manager right above her to get somebody written up. So, like, shut up. All you gonna do is go complain about us to that manager. So he was the one that ended up, like, ultimately firing me. He was the one that had to hire me. But I, like, whatever to him too, because I knew news travel fast around that store. But it was just a lot of stuff that was going on. The managers, terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. And all that woman friends, all the managers that would be talking to her all in her face, all of them when she wouldn't be there, they would be like, I don't know how y'all deal with her. She this, she that. I cannot stand her. But why she that all in her face? So I knew that's how all the other managers was fake too. Because they would talk down bad about that woman to us. Like, I don't know somebody in the store that liked her besides them 2 people in our department. Like, everybody, I'm telling you, the managers from other departments, they would be like, oh yeah, all in her face. Oh, you need this, huh? All right. When she wouldn't be there, they would be like, oh, I know y'all happy she not here today, huh? Like, she was just the worst ever. Like, I could not stand that woman. I might have a picture of, like, other people's names I might have to scratch them out. But it's something that she wrote down for me to do 2 things on the shift or whatever. I'm gonna have to, like, dig for that picture. I don't know where it's at. But I took a picture of it. I think I saved it on my Snap. I'm gonna have to dig for it, though. And it was like, for me to do this, and by the time and after lunch, she had my name on the paper twice. My name was the only name on the paper twice because she wanted to build their work up for me. Nobody else's name was on that paper twice. She wanted me to do buku stuff, like back to back. And if I find that picture, I'm gonna put it in. I'm gonna remember to go look it up on my Snap. But that woman was evil and disgusting. And I love y'all, and I thank y'all so much for watching this video. My hair is not all the way out, but ooh, y'all, look all this build up. Oh, I'm about to go comb my hair out and try to scrub my hair before I get too weak again, because I feel dizzy again, y'all. Like, I don't know. I think it have to be like, what else could it be? All of a sudden I'm sick and I was laying all in the bed with my grandmother, and I was just saying, before she even told me that her test results came back, because she had called me and I missed her call, and I was on the phone with mom, and I'm like, oh mama, I feel bad. So I ended up calling her, and she like, yeah, my test results. My mom was like, call your grandmother. So I called her, which my grandmother is my mama, but she was like, call your grandmother. Because after I said my throat hurt, and my grandmother was like, oh yeah, my test results came back positive for COVID. And I'm like, and I'm not playing, y'all. I'm a hypochondriac kind of, like, but at the end of the day, I knew it. I was like, I knew she had it. Man, and I just feel so bad. Like, right now, it's really kind of hurting to talk because my throat hurting, if y'all can't tell. But I'm ready for this to be over. I'm ready for, if they test me and tell me I'm positive, I'm going to let y'all know, though. I'm going to take a bath, like I said, take some medicine, and go to sleep, because I feel so bad. Like, I feel weak. Like, walking around this house, and y'all know I have asthma. I keep having to hit my emergency pump. It's so aggravating, but I love y'all. And so, if y'all made it to this point in the video, say get well soon. I'm gonna shake back though. Love y'all, and see y'all in the next video. Bye.